What's going on? It's Astronaut H, and this is the What More Do You Want Network. Now, in this video, of course, I will be discussing tonight's game between the Chicago Bulls and Cleveland Cavaliers. And, of course, you know that this is my Bulls report. Now, the Bulls are coming off a win, of course, in their last matchup. And tonight was just a gauge, again, going against a better Eastern Conference opponent, a team that's in the upper echelon of the same conference and are in the same division as the Bulls. So tonight was basically a gauge to see how they could play and match up against one of the top teams in the East, like the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs didn't have Darius Garland or Evan Mobley, but still, you know, you have guys like that's capable of doing damage, like, of course, Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, Kevin Love, even though he's an older player in a starting role, we know what he's capable of. And, you know, the pieces and other players that comes in and fill gaps and roles, Stevenson, Okoro, things like that. So the Bulls did put out their usual suspects of their five, you know, Ayo, Zach, DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, and Nikola Vucevic. And just the onset of the game, right? It looked like at the early part of the game, right? So the game starts and you seen Patrick Williams get the first bucket of the game. But then you seen Patrick Williams being aggressive and he got the first 6 points of the actual night. Now, what was a problem and was a problem for the entire game was Kevin Love's three-point shooting. You seen that early on. He just was looking for his shot. So you seen Zach LaVine coming off a great big performance against the Pistons. You know, he was being aggressive, and the Bulls were able to get in the paint early. But again, turnovers by Chicago was a problem in the first quarter, which started leading to Cleveland's points. Now, this is where Billy shook it up. Early on in the quarter, he elected to put Javonte Green in the game, and you saw good bench production in that first quarter. And to go off on that point, when Green got in the game, he started bodying up and getting deflections and getting into the passing lane and getting the better of his matchup with Donovan Mitchell. And I can honestly say that led to the Bulls ultimately leading in the first quarter 30-28. Now, in the second, you did see Andre Drummond get the first basket, but the Cavaliers role players, like I was discussing earlier in this video, they started coming along. You started seeing guys that you're not used to seeing because of injuries start to produce. And that was a problem for the Bulls because the Cavaliers did end up going on a run, which led the Bulls to being down 10. It was the Cavs bench. But then Vucevic started looking for his shot in the second. But Kevin Love, three-point shooting and rebounding was a problem the entire first half on to the rest of the game. It was not a moment where I didn't look up and I didn't say to myself, who's guarding him? You know, even it was one particular play where Kevin Love shot the ball and he missed. But the Cavs were able to get a offensive rebound and tap it right back to Love. And, you know, he's one of those guys that if you give him enough tries, he'll make the shot. So that's what happened in one particular play. Now DeRozan, his shot did start to fall as the second quarter came, but the Cavs kept getting in the paint and led the Bulls to being down by 5 at the half, 60-55. Now in the third, you seen Karis LeVert come out and get the first basket, but Williams did get a three, but LeVert kept attacking in the third. Ayo got a three. The Bulls started to cause turnovers. Ayo, I can say this about Ayo Dosunmu because you might hear some things about Ayo in tomorrow in the headlines after tonight's game. Ayo kept the Bulls in the game, you know, whether it was deflections, whether it was being in the passing lane, whether it was getting to the rim. He kept the Bulls in this game because Zach LaVine at one point hadn't scored a point. You know, he hadn't scored a point since the first. So this was a long stretch where Ayo was keeping the Bulls in the game. You see Kobe get a layup at the end of the third. and the Bulls were down 84-77. Now in the fourth quarter, this where things took a little turn, right? You seen just plays where I thought the Bulls were, at this point in the fourth quarter, I thought the Bulls were going to get basically ran out of the gym because it just looked like it wasn't no flow, no semblance of an actual offense being played. Whether it was DeMar DeRozan and the offense going through him at early points in the fourth, or whether it was when Zach LaVine elected to, at times in the fourth, go 1-on-5. It was points of the fourth quarter where I just looked at what the Bulls were doing, and I'm saying to myself, okay, we have to figure this thing out. The Cavaliers were allowing the Bulls to be in the game the entire fourth. They could have really closed the door on Chicago, but they didn't. I just elect that to, defense, because the Bulls were playing that down the stretch. And also the Cavs not getting what they wanted. It was times where at the other end, I'm looking and I'm saying, okay, the Cavs are not getting what they want. So this is the time for the Bulls to actually come in and make it make it a game again, which they did. They got it all the way. They got it all the way down after missed free throws hurt them in the fourth quarter, especially whether it was from Alex Caruso or Ayo Dosunmu. Fourth quarter free throws hurt them, but the Bulls did ultimately end up being down as much as two. Now they did get the ball. Well, the Cavaliers did get the ball, and they had a chance to, I guess, ice the game, so to speak. And they missed a shot, and the Bulls were able to get the rebound. The Bulls were down 1 at this point. Now, of course, the talk is who's going to get the last shot. Is it going to be Zach LaVine? Is it going to be DeMar DeRozan? Of course, me watching enough Bulls games, I know DeMar DeRozan is going to get this basketball. So with a little under 6 seconds left in the game, DeMar DeRozan gets the ball to end the fourth quarter. He takes the inbound pass. He doesn't go to his spot. He goes to the right. But he shoots like a fading 1 foot, like push shot, almost, it looks like, and he misses. And ultimately that leads the Bulls to losing tonight's matchup 103-102 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. It just wasn't a good shooting night from DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine. As I look into the box scores right now, DeMar DeRozan, shot only 7 of 17. You seen Zach LaVine, after going for plus 40, go 6 of 16. You seen Vucevic 5 of 13. He did have a double-double. But as far as the Cavaliers, you seen 20 and 9 from Kevin Love. He made 5 threes. You seen 23, 7 and 4 from Karis LeVert. You seen Donovan Mitchell he went 0-6 from 3. And he did have 15 points for the game. But you seen bench production from the Cavs. 12 from Osman, 11 from Okoro, 9 from Lopez, things like that. As far as bench production for the Bulls, they did get 12 from Green. Drummond only played 13 minutes. He only scored 2 points. He did have 1 rebound. You seen Kobe White come in, make a 3. He did have 9 points and 6 rebounds. Alex Caruso did make a 3. He was looking for his offense, gauging on, how he plays sometimes. 4 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. But like I said, man, free throws were a telling point in tonight's matchup. I just felt like the Bulls could have done better from the outset of tonight's matchup. And it just wasn't there. The 3-point shooting wasn't there, and also finishing wasn't there tonight for Chicago. But ultimately, they did well. When I look at it, 3-point shooting, the Bulls was 7 of 21. They did have 40 rebounds to the Cavs 50 rebounds. Assists, you did see the Cavs with 20, Bulls with 14. And usually when the Bulls have over 20 assists, that do lead to more wins than losses. But again, the Bulls are now 16 and 20 after dropping a game versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. I believe their next outing is versus this same team, I believe the next outing for the Chicago Bulls, no, excuse me. Their next outing is versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, but it will be in Cleveland. You know, it will be in Cleveland, and that will be Monday night. So, not a good way to end 2022 for the Chicago Bulls, but ultimately, you know, just you don't have to hang your hat on this particular loss. You just got to piece it back together and see what you do come in your next outing. Hopefully, it's a win. The Bulls still have, you know, pressing issues, in my opinion. 3-point shooting is one. Hopefully, they do tend to address that as we come into the new year. And hopefully, the front office look to, you know, make a move and move some guys to get what they need offensively to help DeRozan and Zach LaVine when they're having bad shooting nights like this. A shooter, a 3-point marksman could really help, because when guys can't, you know, ultimately get to the basket, or guys can't, you know, you need, honestly, you know, this game was won and lost at the free throw line. So I can say that. Ultimately, this loss could have been a win, but it didn't go the Bulls' way. So again, like I said, the Bulls did lose tonight 103-102 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Chicago Bulls fan, Cleveland Cavaliers fans, or just NBA fans if this is your first time tuning in to the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can know anytime a video is being uploaded to this channel. It's Astronaut H. This is the What More Do You Want Network, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.